All right, been a little while since we've done these kinds of problems. Okay, let's start with solving. Remember, when I'm solving, I'm getting x by itself. So my goal is to have at the end x equals something. So I'm going to do all the inverse operations to get x by itself. Now, there's actually two ways to approach this. I'm just going to kind of like talk through one way real quick, but then I'm going to do it the other way. You could subtract 8 from both sides, then divide by 5, and then you would have 2x minus 7 equals whatever you get, and you could solve from there. Okay, that's one way of doing it. So if you look at that and you're like, ooh, that's how I want to do it, go ahead. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute 5 times 2x is 10x. 5 times negative 7, negative 35. And then everything else I'm just going to bring down. Now I'm going to combine my like terms. This 10x has an x in it, so that's not like terms. But this is negative 35 plus 8. I have more negatives than positives. Okay, but they're different signs, so I'm going to subtract the two numbers. I get 27. And I have more negatives than positives, so it's negative 27. Now I'm going to use inverse operations to get x by itself. Okay, this is 40. And I'm going to divide by 10 on both sides. And feel free to use your calculator all the way through. Okay, but I distributed, combined like terms, and then I used inverse operations to get x by itself. I'm going to graph this line, and the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to find the x-intercept. At the x-intercept, the y value is always 0, right? The x-intercept is always the point on the x-axis where the y value is 0, and I'm also going to find the y-intercept. And what I know about the y-intercept is that the x value is always 0. Okay, so here I'm going to write it out, but then I'm going to kind of show you the shortcut as well. So here if I'm plugging in, oops, this is supposed to be 2x. If I'm plugging in 0 for y, my equation looks like this. Okay, notice 5 times 0 is 0. So this is actually just, I could kind of like do this in my head more so, like just like this. This just ends up being 2x equals 10, right? 5 times 0 is 0. So this then just ends up being 2x equals 10. The kind of like shortcut is to say like, oh, y is 0. So 5 times 0 is just going to be 0. So this is just going to be 2x equals 10. I divide by 2 on both sides, and I get x equals 5. So that means my x-intercept is the point where x is 5. My y value is 0, right? I plugged in 0 for y. Here, I'm going to do the same, but I'm going to plug in 0 for x. Okay, and again, the kind of like shortcut way to do it is like, oh, I'm plugging in 0 for x. So this is negative 5y equals 10, right? That's kind of like the equation that I'm actually solving here. I would divide by negative 5 on both sides, right? Divided by negative 5, divided by negative 5. Positive divided by negative is negative. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So here, when I plugged in 0 for x, my y value is negative 2. And then I just plot these 2 points. 5, 0 is right here. And 0, negative 2 is right here. And then I just sketch the line. Okay. Last one, I'm going to simplify. This 4a on the outside, I'm going to multiply at the end. I'm going to just write it down here so I don't forget about it. But then I'm going to ignore it for now. Let's factor this 50. 10 times 5 is 50. And 5 times 2 is 10. So this completely factored out. It's 5 times 5 times 2 times a times a times a times a times b times b times b. Now, I'm going to find the doubles. Okay, and there's a reason I find the doubles. Look, here are the singles. The doubles simplify. Let's talk about why. Okay, look, I'm writing the doubles. I'm putting them each in their own house. And if I'm being honest, I kind of like to just skip this step. It's a lot of writing. But I'm showing it just so you can see where I'm getting all these numbers. Think about what this means. This means 5 times 5, which is 25. And then this is the square root of 25. Well, that's just the number 5. So this becomes just a single number 5. Notice there's no square root sign because I just took the square root. 5 times 5 is 25. The square root of 25 is 5, so I did all of the operations. Okay. Here, we don't know what this number a is, but whatever it is, it would be the same pattern. Let's say it was 7. This would be 7 times 7. That'd be 49. What's the square root of 49? 7. So whatever number this is going to become an a. Whatever number this is going to become another a. I would just write it like this. Okay. Whatever number this would just become the number b. Right? We don't know what number it is, but it's a number. And then this is what I can't take the square root of, right? Because this is a number that doesn't have a whole number square root, so we just leave it in the square root sign. And now we're just going to multiply all this stuff together. So 4 times 5 is 20. This is a times a times a. That's a to the third. There's just this one b. And then this doesn't change. I'm not multiplying this 4a by what's in the middle. This is just the part that I wasn't able to simplify.